Hello, so here we have the first set. Three families, the Nasher family, Dahiya family, and Galawat family, decided to go for a trip together, where each family was traveling in their respective cars. They all took the same path to travel to the destination, but traveled at different speeds also. They had different cars which had different mileages, that is, total distance covered using 1 liter of fuel at different speeds according to the different terrains. The following table gives the average speed of their cars. So it is giving you the average speed of the cars and overall mileage at the time after traveling d kilometers. The mileage overall, right? I mean, by traveling d kilometers. For the first 100 kilometers of the journey, they traveled in plains. The next 150 kilometer was in hills, and the last 80 kilometers was in snow. So in total, they traveled 330 kilometers. That is 100 plus 150 plus 80, which is 330. And then there is a table given to you here, which gives you the average speed and mileage. Average speed and mileage, average speed and mileage. There are questions based upon this now. Which family had an integral average speed in the snow terrain? If the Nasher family used a petrol car, petrol cost 90 per liter. What is the cost of fuel? What is the approximate quantity of fuel used? The difference in the time taken by the Iya family to the time taken by in hills terrain and snow terrain. So ultimately, the question is talking about quantity of fuel, time taken, cost of fuel, and speed only. So we just have to just check the given data and we have to write it in a little bit detail according to the different terrains. So what I've done, I've made a table over here, which is given to you on the screen, along with the table which is given to us in the original question. So when I talk about the first 100 kilometers, which is in plains, of course, so I have average speed and I have also been given as the mileage by him. So from mileage, I can calculate the fuel consumed in liters, and from the average speed, I can find out the time taken to cover that distance. The same I have done for the next terrain of hills, and same I have done for the next terrain of snow. So let's start using them one by one. First of all, here the average speed is 40, 50, and 75. If the average speed is 40 and you are traveling 100 kilometers, the time taken is 100 divided by 40, that is 5 by 2 hours. At a speed of 50, the time taken is 2 hours. At a speed of 75, it is 100 divided by 75, that is 4 by 3 hours. The mileage is given as 15, 16, and 12. If you travel at a speed of 15 kilometers per liter and you travel 100 kilometers, what is the quantity of fuel that you are using? It is 100 divided by 15, and 100 divided by 15 can also be written as 20 by 3. Similarly, 100 divided by 16, it can also be written as 25 by 4. And 100 divided by 12, it can also be written as 25 divided by 3. Now, when I go to the next terrain, which is the hills terrain, now what all is given about that? The average speed is 50, 40, and 50. Now, 50 is the average speed for all 250 kilometers. That means the total time taken is 250 by 50, which is 5 hours, right? Total time taken by Dahiya family is 250 by 40, which is 25 by 4 hours. And by Galawat family, it is again 5 hours. The mileage is 12 for all of them for first 250 kilometers. So once again, I can say for 250 kilometers, the mileage is 12. So 250 divided by 12 is 125 by 6 is the quantity of fuel used. Similarly, for Dahiya family, it would be 125 by 6. For Galawat family, it would be 125 divided by 6. And then we come to the snow terrain now. In the snow terrain, the average speed is 44, 40, or 50. So the time taken is 330 by 44. What is 330 by 44? You can just cancel out by 11 at 4 and 30. And 30 by 4 can also be written as 15 by 2 hours. Similarly, 330 by 40 is 33 by 4. 0 and 0 would cancel out. And 330 by 50 is 33 by 5 because 0 and 0 would cancel out. The mileage is given as 10, 11, and 12. At a mileage of 10, the fuel consumed is 330 by 10, which is 33. At a mileage of 11, the fuel consumed is 330 by 11, which is 30. And at a mileage of 12, it is 330 by 12. So once again, if I have to do 330 by 12, so I'll cancel out by 3. It will give me 110 by 4. And then I'll cancel out by 2. It will give me 55 by 2. So this is the quantity of fuel used and the time taken by them according to different terrains. And now I'll be answering all those questions looking at this table only. So what I have done, I put up this table on the various sheets and then I'll be answering it. So which family had an integral average speed in snow terrain of 80? So how do I calculate that? If you look at this table, the snow terrain is this terrain of the last one, 80 kilometers. Now, how do I find out the average speed of any family? When I talk about the Nesher family, the Nesher family took a total of 5 hours to cover first 250 kilometers and 7.5 hours to cover all 330 kilometers. So can I say for this last terrain of 80 kilometers, they used a time of 7.5 minus 5. 7.5 hours is for whole 330, 5 hours is for just 250. So 7.5 minus 5 is the time taken for the last 80. 80 by 2.5 and 80 by 2.5 is, I think it is equal to, if I divide it by 5 by 2, this is going to give me 32 kilometer per hour, which is integer, right? So Nesher family has an integral average speed in the snow terrain. What about the Dahiya family? The Dahiya family had a time of 33 by 4 in total, but 25 by 4 for the first 250. So in the last 80 kilometers, the time taken was 33 by 4 minus 25 by 4, which is exactly 2. And 80 by 2 is 40 kilometer per hour. This 2 is an integer. This is an integer. This is an integer. This has to be an integer. Only then I can give the answer as all three families. So therefore, my answer for this question is all three families. There was no need to check for Gehlawat family in that case. It would automatically come as an integer. Here we have question number 2. If the Nesher family used a petrol car and petrol costs rupees 90 per liter, then what is the cost of fuel used by them? Once again in the snow terrain he is talking about. So if I talk about the snow terrain now, the total quantity of fuel used by Nesher family is 33, but fuel used in the first 250 kilometers is 125 by 6. So how much fuel did they use in that snow terrain? It is 33 minus 125 by 6, or I can say 198 minus 125 divided by 6, or I can say 73 by 6 liters of fuel is used. And fuel is 90 rupees per liter. So that means the total cost is 73 by 6 into 90. So it is 15 into 73, which gives me 1095. So the right answer for this question number 2 is rupees 1095. So this question says, what is the approximate quantity of fuel used per hour by the Gehlawat family in the hills terrain? So now when I talk about Gehlawat family, how much fuel they have used in the hills terrain? The Gehlawat family has actually I mean taken a time of 5 hours, right, for the first 250 kilometers, and 125 by 6 is the quantity of fuel consumed by them. So the fuel consumed by them only for the hills terrain, it is of course the fuel consumed for first 250 minus that of plains. So 125 by 6 minus that of plains, which is 25 by 3. If I take the LCM as 6, this comes out to be 125 minus 50 as 75 divided by 6, or I can cancel out by 3, and it is 25 by 2. 25 by 2 liters is the fuel consumed by them. 25 by 2 is the fuel consumed by them. What is the time taken by them? Let's have a look at that as well. The time taken is 5 hours for the first 250, but in plains they have used 4 by 3. So the time taken for the hills terrain is 5 minus 4 by 3, that is equal to 15 minus 4, or it is equal to 11 by 3. So 11 by 3 hours is the time taken, 25 by 2 is the fuel consumed. So fuel consumed per hour is 25 by 2 divided by 11 by 3. 25 by 2 divided by 11 by 3. This gives me 75 by 22. 75 by 22 is 22 3s are 66. And after that I have 9 more left. And that is very close to 4 times of 22. So my answer is very close to 3.41. So the correct answer for this question is 3.41. And the last question, the difference in time taken by Dahiya family to cover the hills terrain and the snow terrain. So when I talk about Dahiya family, how much time they have taken to cover the hills terrain? They have taken 25 by 4 hours over here to cover the hills terrain and 2 hours to cover the plains terrain. So 25 by 4 hours for hills terrain, 2 hours to cover the plain terrain. So I would say 25 by 4 hours minus 2 hours. This gives me 17 by 4 hours to cover the hills terrain. 17 by 4 hours to cover the hills terrain. And to the snow terrain is 33 by 4 hours minus 25 by 4. So 33 by 4 minus 25 by 4 is equal to 8 by 4 hours, or I can say it is 2 hours. So 2 hours to cover the snow terrain, 4.25 hours to cover the hills terrain. The difference between the two is 2.25. So yes, option C, 2.25 is the right answer for us for this question.